Welcome to East Texas Explorer. I'm Alexis Willis.
And I'm Steven Sirkowitz.
And on this episode, we'll be checking in with the East Texas Boys and Girls Club and also learning about a high-flying sport that got all the slackers all over Nacogdoches talking.
We also have a story on new homeschooling legislation that may be going into effect in the near future, and an innovative SFA program that uses furry friends to help students deal with the rigors of university life.
Stay with us. East Texas Explorer starts now. The Boys and Girls Club of Nacogdoches has helped children for more than 20 years. The city of Nacogdoches continues to push for the aftercare program. I went this weekend to find out more about the organization. School is out and Nacogdoches children need a place to go until their parents leave work. The children getting off this school bus are about to enter a place they consider their second home. The Boys and Girls Club of Nacogdoches has helped at-risk children since its first opening in 1996 and serves as a place for escape for many struggling children. With the Boys and Girls Club mission statement stating, enabling all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens, SFA students work as both volunteer and part-time employees, making sure they are doing just that.
The kids at the age that they attend here is when they need the attention the most, and because there is a lot that attend here, I think the more people here, the better to give more individual attention to each student.
Nacogdoches holds a very high poverty level that unfortunately many of these young children have to live in. The nonprofit organization has created several outlets including gymnastics and swimming available for the children to partake in at a discounted rate. Organizations such as Armor-Con Delta Kappa come to the Boys and Girls Club to help volunteer. They're actually holding things to help these kids behind me get better. Employee and mentor that children know as Coach Nick does not see his role as a job but as an opportunity to make a change.
Their kids are being able to have social interaction with other kids, building them as well as bringing them out their comfort zone. So they're being able to relate to people who are from different socioeconomic statuses and being able to truly see just a different world beyond themselves.
With East Texas Explorer, I'm Alexis Willis.
CrossFit is one of the hottest workouts in the exercise world. Dylan Hensley has more info on the topic.
CrossFit is the newest trend in the exercise and fitness world. It combines aerobic conditioning, Olympic weightlifting, and gymnastics along with other old-school exercises like kettlebells, rope climbs, tire flipping, and sledgehammer into daily workouts. People of all ages are flocking to CrossFit boxes, looking for variety, fast results, and a quicker workout.
Not only are you looking at your just muscular strength and endurance, but we're also tying in cardiovascular endurance, plyometrics, calisthenics. Everything is kind of bottled into one training system.
CrossFit workouts are extremely strenuous, focusing on a full body regimen. A CrossFit daily workout is referred to as a WOD, or workout of the day, and can take as little as 20 minutes to do, making it possible to accomplish during your lunch break.
These type of workouts have the reputation of kind of beating you down, recovering from those workouts, and kind of repeating the workouts periodically, that you get mentally stronger going through those workouts. So whenever you hit your normal kind of wall in said workout, next time you do that workout, you're kind of expecting it, you'll exceed that expectation.
Although CrossFit participates in competitive tournaments, it's much more about working at your own pace and developing not only strength, but movement and flexibility in a supportive environment that promotes positive attitude towards health and nutrition.
You create these friendships in kind of these rough environments and situations with these workouts, because they can be pretty tough sometimes. That forges a bond. You're kind of going through a struggle together, and it builds a relationship a whole lot if I were to go to a different town and just drop into another CrossFit gym, they would embrace me.
It looks like CrossFit may be here to stay, and with the holidays approaching, this may be the best time to join. I'm Dylan Hensley with East Texas Explorer.
Funding to foreign departments for studying abroad programs is quite high, and yet there are less than 3% of American students who study abroad. With more of the story, Nadia Luha has more.
Statistics show American students aren't nearly as global-minded as peers in other nations. The number of students that study abroad is less than 3%, 283,000, while China alone sends nearly 820,000 students to the U.S., who often stay for a full academic year. The experience alone can bring new and global perspectives to campuses across the United States.
Funding is there, but it's in terms of, scholarships, so students need to apply for scholarships.
According to the National Journal, $24 billion is invested into foreign departments for students to study abroad. The money that is being invested is showing a slightly slow rise in the numbers of students who participate in these programs.
Here in the United States, the Institute of International Education started an initiative that is called Generation Abroad, and it has already 300 American institutions that are members of this initiative, and SFA is one of those. And there are also some institutions abroad, or universities.
Studying abroad helps intercultural development. Educators often assert that the goals of these programs is to train future global leaders to be more effective and respectful of other cultures.
More wide perspective of life.
SFA students that study abroad here always say that it brings in new experiences, how it's not all about the books, learning, and classes, it's about the change of atmosphere and the difference in culture. By 2019, SFA's International Affairs Office hopes to double the number of students studying abroad thanks to the New Generation program.
The International Affairs Office is located on the 4th floor in the Liberal Arts North. With East Texas Explorer, this is Nadia Lahana.
When we return, we'll let you know about a new proposal that could mean big changes for homeschooling in Texas.
We also look and examine how the Mormon Church nationally and here in East Texas is responding to the new national homosexual marriage legislation.
East Texas Explorer will be right back. Welcome back to East Texas Explorer. A new controversial issue has risen in Texas this week on homeschooling. A Texas Supreme Court case has made Texas educators begin questioning if homeschooled children are actually getting an education. Here's Cheyenne Aldridge with more on the story.
What started out as a family feud has made its way through the doors of the Texas Supreme Court. Laura McIntyre is a mother and homeschool educator of 9. However, according to her brother-in-law and kids, McIntyre hasn't taught her kids the required learning material of the state. Instead, she has been preparing her children to be raptured by the return of Christ and insist an education is not necessary. This Supreme Court case has brought into question whether or not homeschooled children should have to be assessed in order to carry on their homeschool education and make sure they are learning the required material. Since 2009, there has been a dramatic increase in the number of children being homeschooled in the state of Texas. The fact that homeschooled children do not have to be formally assessed is why Texas educators fear that some parents and students might be taking advantage of the homeschooling program.
Because I think that's one of the reasons that parents do it, so they have the freedom to teach without so much testing. However, there are a lot of people that are homeschooling that are doing a horrible job, that their heart is really not into it and the education of their child is really not the priority. Some of them just do it to sit at home.
On the contrary, avoiding the pressures and the boundaries of standardized testing is a huge reason why some parents chose to homeschool their children instead of placing them in public schools. It's not certain on what decision the state will make in regards to the McIntyre case, but what we can expect to see is a dramatic statewide battle over this issue in the near future. This is Cheyenne Aldridge reporting for East Texas Explorer.
You can click up here in the formula bar. That's one.
10 years ago, Hurricane Katrina and Rita hit the Gulf Coast, and the effects were felt all across East Texas as well as the rest of the country. A program here at SFA informs students about the effects of the storms even 10 years later. Here's Bobby Morrow with more.
Last Monday, the American Democracy Project helped put on a program that highlighted the 10-year anniversary of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. A panel discussion informed students of the effects the storms had around the country. Speaking in the discussion were Brian Green, Keith Kiplinger, Ryan Lehman, and Kathleen Wedling. Nacogdoches saw many effects from the storms, even right here on SFA's campus. Nacogdoches had around 60,000 people staying in town to ride out the storm, with the Coliseum itself housing more than 1,100 people. The effects can still be seen today. The construction currently being done on the South Loop and US 59 South Street is to assure evacuation routes are clear in the future. The American Democracy Project generally tries to have programs such as the Katrina and Rita one at least once a semester. The storms may have hit 10 years ago, but there is still work to be done to help rebuild communities. Camp Restore, based in New Orleans, Louisiana, is doing just that. Visit www.camprestore.org to find out how you can make a difference.
Religion is a very controversial topic. The Church of Latter-day Saints changed their policy on a topic that makes some people across the world upset. Here's Maddie Kaufman with the story.
The Church of Latter-day Saints have changed their policy on gay marriage couples and their children.
This policy change forbids children in these same-sex households from receiving a blessing, being baptized, doing missionary service, or participating in other ordinances until they are over 18 years old, move out of their home, and reject the support of same-sex marriages. A woman who is a member of the Mormon Church here in Nacogdoches feels very strongly about this change in policy.
Kids wouldn't be able to be baptized, which we consider a saving ordinance, meaning you can't be saved.
Ms. Olson-Beal is torn because she is now rejecting the majority of their policies, especially the new one.
I still call myself a Mormon because I've been Mormon my whole life. And everybody in my family is Mormon.
She still considers herself a Mormon only because she was brought up that way and not because she agrees with their policies.
The Mormon Church also excludes women from the priesthood, and that just became an issue that I could no longer reconcile in my mind.
In the most recent years, equality for all across the world has risen. In June 2015, it was legal for gay people to marry in the United States. The Mormon Church still doesn't recognize that.
I mean, it's very, very, very important in the Mormon Church to be obedient and to be compliant.
According to the Huffington Post, gay Mormon youth who experienced high levels of family rejection were 3 to 4 times as likely to attempt suicide. They live in fear of being disloyal to the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Loyalty to the Mormon Church is the most important thing.
Loyalty and obedience are what makes up the Mormon Church. Its members will do anything to stay away from things that will excommunicate them, even if that means changing how they live.
With East Texas Explorer, I'm Maddie Kaufman.
Several members of the community come together to plant 99 trees in Pecan Park. Philly Galiendo has more on the Arbor Day event.
Nacogdoches celebrates Arbor Day by planting 99 trees in Pecan Acres Park. Conducted by the Nacogdoches Parks and Recreation Department and the Garden Capital of Texas Committee, several organizations and volunteers have come together and participated in the annual event. The organizations that were involved were A&M Texas Forest Service, SFA Gardens, and Keeping Nacogdoches Beautiful, along with community members that come from their homes.
We were just named Tree City USA, and that's through some efforts. Last year we planted 99 fringe trees in Bonita Creek Park North. Again, a whole lot of organizations coming together for good.
Keeping Nacogdoches Beautiful provided mulch, shovels, gloves, and water for participants. Lowe's donated 50 bags of mulch for the event. The Texas A&M Forest Service guided volunteers on the proper way to plant trees.
Well, anytime you plant a tree, you're planting it for future generations to enjoy. With these being nut-bearing pecan trees, you know, the later generations will be able to get those pecans out of them.
The East Texas culture consists of the community coming together to become involved in something bigger than themselves. Nacogdoches continues to preserve its East Texas culture by preserving and enriching the environment in all of its parks.
It really is a lot of Nacogdoches organizations partnering together, all for good. And really no one gets the credit, it's all for the good of Nacogdoches.
For East Texas Explorer, I'm Fili Galindo.
Stay with us. When we come back, we get to see who's got slackers here in East Texas jumping.
We also talk about the long-awaited release of Fallout 4.
Don't go anywhere. E2E will be right back. Welcome back to East Texas Explorer. Some rock climbers have made a new sport out of walking across a web strap fixed high above the ground. To find out more about this new sport, here's Audra Bridges.
Slacklining is a relatively new sport where one tries to balance on a webbed strap, fixed high above the ground and eventually do tricks. It has only been around for 25 years. Slacklining originated in the rock climbing gym as a balancing act to improve concentration for climbers. Now, it has turned into a fun sport. Slacklining is different from tightrope walking. With a slackline, the tension on the line is from the weight of the person on it, causing slack, which bounces like a trampoline. The point of slacklining is to gain balance, concentration, and strength. The straps slackers walk on come in different sizes, with the most popular being 2 inches. Once a slacker is able to stand on the line, they usually try to walk across it. Eventually, they get good enough to be able to do tricks such as lunges, turns, and jumps. To start slacklining, a person pushes off the ground with one leg while the other is balanced on the strap. Some people try to gain their balance before they walk, and some start walking as soon as they get up. The key is to place one foot in front of the other while keeping balance with core muscles. Slacklining is physically a really good workout. It works out every muscle in the leg. It also is a really good core workout because when trying to balance oneself, tightening of core muscles happens to keep them from falling. Even the arms get a slight workout from trying to balance and then catching oneself when falling occurs. Slacklining is an activity that can be taken virtually anywhere as long as there are 2 solid objects to connect either side of the line to. Usually trees or poles work best. Slacklines come in different lengths as well as widths. The most common line is 50 feet, but professionals who go across mountains or rivers use ones that are much longer. Sounds like a sport I'd love to play. With East Texas Explorer, I'm Audra Bridges.
Finding the perfect dog for your lifestyle can be hard to do, but now it's a lot easier with pawslikeme.com to get you the perfect pooch.
Finding the right one isn't easy, and that's when it comes to partners or pooches. Now there is a website to make sure that you find the perfect pet that is meant for you. Paws Like Me is a search engine for finding pets created with a unique system that matches pets and people using an algorithm that has been proven to be more than 90% accurate. Unfortunately, many pets need more than one chance to find their forever home. There are many cases where pet owners will return or surrender their pets for various reasons. The website asks 4 simple questions relating to energy levels, confidence, and independence. Once you finish the core personality quadrants, Paws Like Me can get you scrolling through a list of prospective pups in need of a home in no time. So far, 143 shelters have enrolled to use Paws Like Me and help place more pets. There are many pups needing homes, and this website serves as the middleman to make that goal a lot easier to achieve. The ultimate goal of the site is to reduce the likelihood of a bad match, which often leads to dogs returning to shelters or foster homes.
Therapy animals such as dogs and cats provide emotional support to those with disabilities. SFA has recently allowed students to have these type of animals on campus. AJ Vitti has more on the story.
In the 23 years I've been here, we've seen a dramatic rise in anxiety and depression. That's true of college counseling centers across the United States. We're seeing a whole lot more of depression and especially anxiety. Nobody knows exactly why.
There are signs posted in every housing unit on campus claiming no dogs or cats allowed. However, you might see some coming out of dorms and walking around, but they serve an important purpose. SFA has recently allowed students to bring therapy and emotional support animals, such as dogs and cats, from home to live with them on campus. Therapy animals are different than service animals. Service animals have always been allowed on campus, in which you see assisting the disabled. A therapy animal includes emotional support animals that are used to support individuals with mental disabilities.
This policy just started last fall, and so this is only our second year to have therapy animals on campus. And so we do allow students to bring a therapy animal to live on campus with them if they meet the criteria.
If you feel like having a pet on campus can help you, go to the Residence Life website and click the Special Accommodations link on the left and scroll all the way down to fill out the request.
It has to be a documented disability, and it has to state what the disability is and how this animal is going to alleviate more of the symptoms of the disability.
I know that there have been studies that show that there is a lot of assistance with anxiety disorders for people who have pets, and so I know that there's been a rise in comfort animals and assistance animals, including on this campus.
There are only a handful of students that have therapy animals on campus because it only started last semester. But so far it has been a success. With that being said, the counseling department SFA provides is here to help you. They're located on the 3rd floor of the Rusk building. With East Texas Explorer, I'm AJ Vitti.
Gamers everywhere waited in anticipation of last week's Fallout 4 release. Here's Kirby Hildebrand with more.
On Tuesday, Fallout 4 was released to the world 5 years after the previous installment. While Fallout 4 was rumored to be in development, it was only officially announced back in August and actually released a day earlier than developer Bethesda Softworks initially announced. This is very rare with games today, as most high-profile games experience a delay of some kind before launch. Fallout 4 continues with the traditional Fallout model in that you are in a post-apocalyptic world following nuclear war. This installment is set in Boston and features such landmarks as Fenway Park. New to this installment is the ability to switch between first and third person view, and also something that one gamer was particularly excited about.
One of the biggest things I'm looking forward to is the fact that you can make your own shelter and community, because that's a really innovative thing to be able to destroy objects and get new objects and materials from that.
And although the game was just released on Tuesday, there are already people who have played the game for more than 12, 24, and even 36 hours in just a few days. The anticipation for Fallout 4 was so widespread that when it was announced in August, sales for Fallout 3 and New Vegas jumped over 1,000% on Amazon.
During its first 24 hours on sale, Fallout 4 sold over 1.2 million copies on Steam and had over 470,000 players playing it once. That surpasses Grand Theft Auto 5's record of 360,000 players. Initial overall sales figures are not yet available, but it's expected they'll surpass Skyrim's one-week record of 7 million Steam copies. For East Texas Explorer, I'm Kirby Hildebrand.
That's it for another episode of East Texas Explorer.
If you'd like more of this show or other Jack TV programs, check out our YouTube channel at Jack TV SFA.
We love you to check out our work here, so leave all your feedback and tell us what you think.
Have a great week, and we'll see you next time for another episode of East Texas Explorer.